Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. Madre mía. My goodness. Empirical Woodland, welcome in with that tier list of all Ace Attorney characters. I don't even know how I'm going to do this. Give me like a moment. Alright. Hey Shadow, it's me, the devil. Welcome in, Knight. Bienvenida, Knight. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Ya. Que si salgo de los juegos, sé muy poco porque me vi el Let's Play de Rangu ahora como muchos años del primero de Apolo, pero no recuerdo nada. So I don't know almost anything about these three games. I know some characters, but that's about it, basically. Okay, Empirical, do you mind if I save that tier list for next stream, because I don't have my my setup to properly screen share that at the moment. So we will do that tier list next time. Yeah, no worries. Alright, thank you. Estoy medio sopa, he dormido medio mal por postura y me ando arrastrando por el suelo. Te entiendo muy bien. Cuando me despierto y tengo la espalda rotísima, no tengo ganas de hacer nada. Te entiendo muy bien. Espero que puedas descansar ahora un rato. Bueno. Yeah, thank you, Empirical. I'll be sure to do it the next stream before we do anything. I will have that prepared just for you. En mi caso es el cuello, no sé cómo coño duermo. O sea, a mí me pasa también. Like, sometimes I will go to sleep perfectly like well rested, and then I wake up and my neck is hurting like crazy, and I don't even know what to do about that. Okay. So everyone, today we're going to... Madre mía. Today we're going to start playing Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney Trilogy, and I am so ready for this. You don't even know how much I've been aching for this to happen. Give me just a moment. Alright, perfect. Now then, let me quickly jump into the game. I was testing the audio earlier. I think it should sound fine, but if anything goes wrong or something, please do let me know. Alright, let's jump right into it. Play, there we go. It should work. Should is the keyword here. Come on. Can do it. You can do it, game. I believe in you. There we go. Health warning and everything. Some of the contents of the game in this collection are preserved as initially released. Alright. Capcom, I want to be able to read the text that you put before each game. This happened as well with Phantom Detective, with Ghost Trick, with Gosuto Toriku. But yeah, this game's supports an autosave feature. Alright. Decidme si se escucha bien y todo. There it is. Ace Apollo. Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney Trilogy. Fancy. Very fancy. I like that. Right. Let's jump right into it. Mira lo que puto. Look at him. Look at him. Alright. Let's jump. Set music and background. Right. This has a lot more options than the Greatest Attorney Chronicles. Wow. Alright. New game. Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Episode 1. Turnabout Trump. ¿Cómo? Nameless, acabamos de empezar ahora mismo. No te has perdido nada. Not Chiro, man. Yeah, not Trump. Not that kind of Trump. Showdown time. You lose. Ah! Eek! Oh, God. Madre mía, qué susto. Oh my goodness. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Could it come to that? What? ¿Qué ha pasado? What the hell just happened? April 20, 9:37 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Please do let me know if everything sounds okay. Decidme si se escucha bien, si se ve bien. Alright, vale, ok, he activado la opción de quitar el texto, entonces esto está muy bien para cuando queramos hacer fotos cositas. So now we can remove the text in this game, because we couldn't do that in the Greatest Attorney Chronicles. So this is going to be very useful. Alright. Panicked. I'm sweaty. He's weak. I can admit it. He's nervous. Okay, so the game starts off with an Eminem quote. Okay, that's... Alright. Increíble. Incredible. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Courts of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. This is me preparing for each Ace Attorney stream. I get up at 5 a.m. I practice my vocal cords, my wacky voices. Madre mía, qué susto. ¿Qué ha pasado? Oh, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down. If you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. My name is Apollo Justice, and I have no idea what I'm doing here. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Oh! There he is. Whoa! Good morning. Morning. It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. Look at him. Oh my goodness, that's... that's certainly the sign. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? Apollo is like me for real, for real. So, you are... Fine, I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is the top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend, so why... You'll see. Wow, okay. Huh? You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean, It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. It feels like we are the ones going on trial and not him. Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice! April 20, 10 AM. District Court, courtroom number 2. Oh my god, Blue Parrot is happening. It's happening. Welcome in, Blue Parrot. Ah! Oh, the court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh god, Payne, what did they do to you? The defense is, fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Fuck, too late. Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Look at the poor boy. Oh god. Oh, I love him so much. I prefer these sprites. So far, they look nice. But I think that the 3D of the Greatest Attorney looks much better, in my opinion. Mr. Gavin? Yes. Oh, I forgot his voice already. Yes, Your Honor. It's like they didn't forget to add detail this time. Yeah. Like the first trilogy was very bland in comparison to this one. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always sit to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested for Mr. Justice. Yeah, I mean against the main trilogy, yeah. Well, of course he wants justice. I mean... But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine. But does he have courts of steel? The toxic gay man has entered the scene. No, we will meet the other toxic gay man later, don't worry. And let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Oh, this is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Chan. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright. Piano player. Hobo Phoenix, exactly. Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne. To think, I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I will see you live in chains. God, what a smug dickhead. Objection! Welcome in, Ghostly Soul. How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. Winston Payne. Total as ever, I see. Ooh, Cocky Phoenix is... Woof? The crime occurred at Borst? Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce that. Borst Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer. And he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? Okay, now I should be here 100%. Nah, Nameless, no te preocupes, don't worry. Acabamos de empezar ahora mismo, no te preocupes. And the defendant, you say he was? The pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Because we cannot show alcohol on this game, of course. Oh god, Japan is so weird. It's like, okay, mosto, yeah, it's all mosto, literally mosto, but also we're going to show blood, we're going to show killings, we're going to show people dying, but we cannot show any alcohol whatsoever. So, the weapon is a bottle of grape juice. I mean, I think this is more a USA localization thing than a Japan one. My favorite character, the Mosto bottle. Yeah. Grape juice is apparently your defendant's drink of choice. Mosto. I'm going to call it Mosto now. Mosto is apparently your defendant's drink of choice. Una botella de champín.
The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence.
Deadly bottle added to the court record. Ooh, those sound effects are kind of crunchy. Ooh. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Yeah. How long did I yearn for one of these? Just putting it on makes me feel ready. Ooh. Oh. There is a number inscribed on the back of the badge. There are many numbers like it, but this one is mine. Christophe? Sí, Christophe is... proof that I'm an attorney. To tell the truth, I get a happy feeling inside just looking at it. Alright, Smith's autopsy report. The time of death was around 2 AM, April 17th. Death caused by single blow to forehead. Right, victim's name, Shady Smith. Age, unknown, male. April 17th, between 1:45 and 2:15. Alright. Hydrate. Thank you, Sebas. Gracias. Crime photo number 1. The sub-basement at the Borst Bowl Club. Interesting. Very interesting. And the deadly bottle, of course. Mosto. Mosto. How long has it been since I drank Mosto? Forehead. No! Apparently, it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder how well it goes with Borst. Right, nothing else? The bottle is completely empty. Right. De repente a uno le entran ganas de romper la ley, sí. Apollo Creed 4, just. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Porque lo primero que leo es esto. Hey, Mark, ¿qué tal? Use RB to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, just use RB. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action.
So the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow?
Shady Smith. Yeah, very shady. We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
A traveler?
According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. Sick. El que tengo aquí colgado, Vanigan. Welcome in, bienvenido, ¿qué tal? Everyone is here for Apollo Justice. Incredible.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant?
That too is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borst Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing.
That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least, not piano playing. I will let this photo explain what I mean. Lo peor de los primeros casos es T-Pain, sí. Ace Attorney vendiendo todas las entradas. Yeah. Pain is always like the default first case prosecutor, and he kind of becomes a running gag at this point. It's like it's obvious to see Pain at this stage of the game. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That is a crime in and of itself.
Indeed. It appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal.
Objection!
Is it true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim? Yet it was only that. A game, in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome.
Come again?
The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present. Cagaste, sí. An impressed woman. I don't need to impress woman. I have my eyes on the other gender.
That will be our first order of business here then. Find out more about this fatal game of cards.
Míralo. He has a plan. Phoenix has a plan. Look at that smug face. Tiene un plan. He has a plan.
Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime.
My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. Witness testimony. The competition. I am a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game. And our customers are happy.
Guilty!
Oh god.
A pianist who can't play piano?
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination.
Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're shooting bullets? Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy too. What happened to this Deadpool Spider-Man single-tire dad of a man? Exacto. Eso es lo que tenemos que averiguar. That's what we have to figure out. We have to figure out what happened to him. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course in cross-examination? No thank you. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you'd better do more than think. You know it, or you do not. I'm fine. The courts of steel are ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. Es que mire me seduce. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Stronger, faster, better, harder. Christoph, please. Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright. As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie. It's up to me to prove it. You! Phoenix Wright would never lie. No! That could never happen. Siempre me da la sensación de que te dan la parte tutorial. Yeah, they do give you like the most bare bones basic of the tutorial when you say no. But I think that's better than nothing. Not our Phoenix. Not the man who bluffed about the parrot. Or other stuff, you know.
The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Not our precious Phoenix. The competition. I am a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. You can hardly play? Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want. Was that supposed to be a boast just now? The title of pianist is a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world at large. Okay, hold up, I need to like check up on chat. The mosto isn't wine because he is the finest wine already. No, el que se comió un collar para que no se meta en la empresa de la novia. Oh, so he sucks. Faster, better, stronger, yeah. I don't take it back though.
Then, why are you really at the Board's Ball Club?
My real job is to take an interesting... Okay. Man, those are some crunchy sound effects. Oh, and los sound effects siguen siendo los de DS, son muy crunchy. They pay you just to play poker? That would seem to be the case. I am a professional after all. Bah, I detect pride in that statement. It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Okay, bootlicker, calm down. Deja de comer la bota al Estado, por el amor de Dios. Yes. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston. What? I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost once. What? You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, quite a draw. Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time? As I said, I'm a professional. Dijo la cosa. ¿Qué cosa? ¿Qué cosa? Fenix mentiroso. He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? The room where we play and the competition. Okay. The room is in the crime scene photo. Is an attraction? It has quite a history, actually. The Burst Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day. The black market? All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Wow, what a society that you have here, Ace Attorney. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room.
The smoky room, gambling hoods, you know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad.
The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now. That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout but little else. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun. Hi, Zark. Hi, Victor. ¿Qué tal? How are you? ¿Cómo estás? The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks. 2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards.
Oh, there's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lines scattered on the floor.
I don't, okay. But question. If this is like the near future, why is the picture in black and white? Si esto es como el futuro cercano, ¿por qué está la imagen en blanco y negro? Es una cámara moderna, supuestamente. It's supposed to be a modern camera. But in the Greatest Attorney, there are even color photos. Greatest Attorney, it's like the beginning of the 20th century, and they have colored pictures. This is the present day, or like the near future, and they don't even have colored pictures. Damn it. I might have to leave. I need to get a plane ticket and don't have enough money in my bank account. Oh no. Venga, ve Blue Parrot, te estamos esperando aquí. Aesthetic y que me están ocultando cosas. Bien, estoy haciendo manualidades. Nice. ¿Qué tal va la silla? Es un filtro de Insta. Acabamos de empezar los juicios, no... Yeah, I know it's important for the case, but like... It's funny. Sé que es para el caso, pero es divertido pensar en ello. Es que el señor de las evidencias andaba artístico. Yeah, the guy handling the printing of the evidence was like feeling a bit artistic that day. Filtro Río de Janeiro.
In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lines scattered on the floor.
Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. I don't have the deck of cards, no I don't. Right. Ooh, Christoph Gavin, boss at Gavin Law Offices. A first-rate defense attorney, and my trusted mentor. 32 and 33, nice. Pianist at... Oh, he's old enough to be the messiah. Pianist at the Bowl Club, formerly an ace attorney of some renown. Eddie Smith, the victim in this case, a traveler. Winston Payne, prosecuting attorney. For all his experience, he lacks a certain presence. Es mejor que el filtro México hecho por gringos. Ahora que sí.
As I recall, in poker you make 5 card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat.
Yes, a game of hands. Nani? Nan desu kore wa? Oh dear.
This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently.
That's right. It was a simple game, after all.
Are you sure?
Huh?
People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. Yet, you claim no connection to the crime?
Now that's strange.
What is strange?
I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense. I completely let that one slip by. Oh, don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right. There's something I would like to make clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I would like to hear it from you. Sure, why not?
Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony.
Just one little press. And I've got myself a whole new testimony. I mean, I plead silence regarding the murder. But I will say I never touched the murder weapon. Me he dado cuenta de que este es el juego donde están los abogados estos que tienen un chingo de porno gay. Sí, sí, es que son estos. Yes, the gay attorney game son estos. This one. Yeah. These are the ones that... Silence? The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law. But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage. And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes? Great. Like I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Huh? Wait, something he said did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now, what was it? When you figure it out, I would suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony. A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony? But why? I better check the court record. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right. I got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to that testimony again. Gay, homosexual, gay. Alright. I plead silence. Alright, chat. Say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Objection! So, you say you didn't touch the murder weapon. This Mosto bottle? Right? So I said.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What is this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see? And it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! He said the thing. Objection!
No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine.
oh, goody. Oh, my goodness. We couldn't even hear his theme. Excessive yelling can damage the judge's ears. In our case. But what about my court of steel? Anyway, what is so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant?
Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove he did it.
No, they wouldn't prove a thing. If they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted. And there can only be one reason for that. Oh dear. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. Ugh. He became monkey. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh, I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There is a good reason for everything. You'll see.
Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court?
I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now.
Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be a reason, some reason. Objection! Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something.
What might that be, Mr. Gavin?
On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police?
Reported?
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that...
Really?
Yes, well... According to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in the basement 2 floors down from ground level. Alright. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. This is the phone that made the call.
Wright's cell phone added to the court record, used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Let's see. Ooh. Wow, the battery is being held in with a piece of tape. He should just buy a new one. Or maybe he can afford it. Or he just doesn't care. It's Phoenix Wright, alright? It's Phoenix Wright, you know. Nothing here. Alright. Yet, he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. Then you claim he is being uncooperative? Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I'd better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this?
That's a good question. How indeed?
The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. Yeah, it's a nice Nokia. You're as good as they say you are. So, someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up till now has just been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Ooh.
Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand.
Oh, my throat is... Oh. Ha pasado mucho desde que pongo voces en directo. It's been a while since I've done voices on stream. Ah, my throat hurts a little bit. Sí, hydrate. Ya acabo de beber agua. Gracias. Thank you. I have just drank some water. Thank you very much, Knight. Oh dear. The witness will state her name and profession. Mistia? It's Mistia?
Hold on just a moment. Where is the witness?
What? I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. I mean, yeah. So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people. Oh my goodness. Those are not horns, those are ears. It's a rabbit, you see. Eso es racista, en claro, es un conejo, no es...
Oh, have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
Muy racista en Sekai, by the way, yeah.
You are sure?
Eyes right on my gable. Please come out.
Isn't violence against her a crime, Your Honor?
Well, it's just so it is okay.
Okay, second question. Why are there so many... Like, I'm not complaining, it's just like in The Greatest Attorney there are also a lot of Russian characters. And in here the first proper witness that we have is a Russian character as well. ¿Verdad? O sea, Mark, o sea, tú estás conmigo, ¿no? O sea, tipo, hay como... A Shu Takumi le gustan mucho poner a gente rusa en los juegos.
Well, if you're...
Okay, I already read that.
Now the prosecution?
Oh dear.
Oh, wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witnesses? Paraphernalia?
Yes. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be...
Okay, so what voice do I... Like, something raspy and low?
My name is Olga Orley. I am employed as waitress in the Small Club restaurant.
Then, why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve boards.
I'm dying.
To serve boards that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how it is said, other service.
I take it one of these other services is taking the customers' pictures?
Kaching.
Like, for example, this one.
Ooh. Ruski. Okay, so that picture is in color, but the other one is in black and white.
That's the defendant.
Indeed, on the night of the murder. The man in the white hat is one who has gone kaput.
Indeed, that is the victim. Order! Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is the same way I drop cold bowls of boards on laps of customers. Casually.
Caput es alemán, ya, pero...
Then the court will casually accept this new evidence.
Olga's photo. Alright, let's see.
Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder?
Alright, so those are the bottles. The price tag. Some Russian matryoshka in the background. And some food. Nice.
I was in room. The hideout, we call it.
Hideout. Excuse me? The hideout.
It is room where famous gangster bad guy.
Oh, bad guy. Bad guy. Hombre malo. Okay.
Was arrested. His room where murder took place.
What?
And your look of utter surprise, it is lovely.
Soul bad guy. It's him.
I will post my courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of.
So, there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orley, or waitress. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means...
Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events.
That is bullshit. Blazing. Still my heart is blazing. That fateful night.
That night, the customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was called. Both players played with hats on. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is on. But something terrible has happened. That man threw at victim and is strangling him to death.
Ajá. Es el opening del Guilty Gear 5. Sí.
Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Justice. Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips as they lay at the very moment of the crime.
Three of those cards are not turned in this picture. ¿Y la deck roja? Sí, sí.
The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say?
Ah, I mean, yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3.
I think he means Poker Face. Very nice TV show, everyone. Go watch Poker Face.
Look at this picture. It does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table.
Chips photo added to the court record.
Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
Cross-examination. Wow. Do we try and go for it already? Do we go for it? Something terrible has happened.
Objection!
Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd.
The normal customer is only choke on burst.
No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Oh. Oh, literalmente missed you.
Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? His head certainly was hit.
Frame photo number 2 added to the court record. Wow, well, we are piling up a lot. Way no color, yeah, exactly. The police don't have enough budget for colored cameras. La policía no tiene presupuesto para cámaras con color.
But I have seen it happen. Defendant, he launched at victim. His neck.
No, really, Miss Orley. I think I've caught you in your own lie this time. Justice. I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. Oh, what do you mean? I found the contradiction. There is one thing in her testimony that troubles me.
Oh, very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination.
There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much too. Okay, Ace Attorney characters, like the Ace Attorney protagonists, always get their mind read. In every game, it happened with Ryonosuke, it happens with Phoenix Wright, and now it's happening with Apollo. Luego la gente encuentra al culpable, eso haremos, Knight. Eso haremos, que te vaya todo bien. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game.
Hold it!
You were dealing cards? Do you do this often?
I am doing this. If customer will sit, I serve anything. Burst, cards, more burst. Aching. It is my work.
It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service.
Welcome you to Bird Small Club. Well, Birds is as warm as the waitresses.
Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination.
Hold it!
It's already April. How could it be cold?
At Bird Small Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside it's always as cold as Mother Russia.
No way am I going there. No way am I going there.
When it comes to hot bursts, cold is with seasoning, da?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Hold it!
His locket?
I believe it was good luck charm, da? He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, he wouldn't have much sleep.
The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we are talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket?
Of course I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that.
No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape it's... It's considered a bad form of to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing? Or hard of understanding?
So, what happened next?
Hold it!
Something terrible?
The defense will refrain from needless shouting.
Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing.
How, Miss Orly? Can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I trembled with fear.
Okay, after the defendant tried to strangle victim, he hit him with bottle. I want to, do something. Hold up. Aye, there we go. And now we can go much faster. Perfect. Alright.
Hold it!
You didn't say anything about hitting before.
So sorry. I must be forgetting this,
Witness, you will take great care with your testimony.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. And that clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe.
Okay, give me a moment, chat. Un momento. Me estaba muriendo de calor. I was dying of heat.
The defendant made to strangle his victim, then changed his mind. And chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely.
So he strangled him and then hit him? Nothing's fishy about all this. Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do. Right, sir. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I got you now, Orly. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there are no choking marks around his neck. I'm guessing that's what they want us to show. There are no choking marks on either picture. Alright, let's give it a shot.
Objection!
Nope. Lol. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Justice.
Name it. Okay. Which one? Okay, this one. Last hand is done, but something terrible has happened. Victim place. Alright. Oh yeah, where is his locket? Where is his locket though?
Objection!
You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean?
Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said.
I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar.
No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Yeah, the music. Oh god, this music, it goes so hard. Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean?
If we're to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no? Taking it off. Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it?
Oh!
Eh?
Defendant, what do you have to say to this?
Volví, hey Mark.
Say,
Yes?
I just noticed this, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you?
Bueno, Mark, te has perdido a Phoenix metiéndose en peores situaciones. Oli, hey, Damiancito, ¿qué tal? No? You mean this? Yes, it's a locket. With a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. ¿Qué? Nunca se ayuda a Phoenix. What? Daughter? Hold up. Come again?
It's alright. You have a daughter?
He confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter.
So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Yo dije que era papá. Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence?
Well, now if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game.
Tiene el gorro papá, sí, sí. Ya, el gorro está ahí por un motivo, ya. Dejad this there for a reason, I know, lo sé. Estaba exagerando para hacer... Estaba exagerando.
But the testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost. Badly.
Hmm. Son.
It's early. You will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and defendant.
Tiene un gorro con la palabra papá. Espera, ¿ese papucho es Phoenix? Sí, es Phoenix. Serious competition.
The game began with 3,500 points in tips for each man. House tips come in two sizes, small and large. The fan who was winning died was victim. For last hand, defendant play with all tips on table and lose.
Defendant played with all tips on the table and lost.
At the moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table end.
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
Oh, how many times have I heard these words? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor, and now I regret what I done. A common tale, but true.
Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Ooh, Apollo, you are idolizing him a little bit too much.
Hold it!
Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used?
No, not special. Usual game, usual rules.
If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be... exactly 7,000 points.
Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. Small and large.
Hold it!
Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used?
No, of course.
Hydrate? Thank you, Mark. Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Yes. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips?
Explain. What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip of the old block. Not a motorcycle cup. Not a...
Thanks. Shut the fuck up. Apollo really said no. Thank you, but no. Now that I pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? ¿Por qué gritaba así el viejo? Porque es un viejo.
Niet. As I have been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalist
To understand. Wow, alright. Uff. Alright. Ponen al viejo siempre.
2 days of cheap. 100 points cheap and 1000 points cheap. It is not money, da.
Justice. Sir, don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I would have it added to her testimony myself.
Well, does the defense want witness to add to her testimony?
Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this.
Very well. Witness, if you would be so kind.
Da, Your Honor.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 reds. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so. Alright, so the black ones. The black ones are 100 points. And the red ones are 1000 points. Las rojas son 1000 puntos y las negras son 100 puntos. ¿Qué razón tiene? No sé ni lo que dijo. Alright, and now we look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 10. Alright, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 6. Alright. Perfect. I don't see any other tip-related problem around here. No, it doesn't seem so. No, there are no other chips on the floor, so those must be the only chips.
Hold it!
Mr. Gavin said this testimony is important. To be honest, I have no idea why.
Mr. Justice, do the court a favor and think of what you want to say before raising your hand. We are not in kindergarten.
Sorry, I'm fine. I better think of something to ask. And quick. The 2 types of chips.
Da.
The small ones are 100 and big ones 1000? Right? Right, of course.
Yeah.
Don't waste our time.
Is that all?
Yeah. Great. Mr. Gavin made me stop her, and now I'm the one who looks dumb. Oh, Justice? Please try not to embarrass me like that. Okay. Huh? Who? Me? There's a clear contradiction in the information you have in your hands. What? It's a simple matter of calculation. Go on, try it. We're not in kindergarten after all. Calculation? Okay, quizás lo he contado mal. Okay, so there are 2 kinds, 100 and 1000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay, yeah, Phoenix Wright was winning, clearly. Because he has like 4100 points. Right. Yep. Qué real, ¿qué dijo? Nada, que aprendamos matemáticas, nos ha dicho. He told us to learn math, basically. Que aprendamos a contar.
Objection!
You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure?
It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten.
Espuelas jumpscares, sí, total.
Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problems of the court?
Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1000 points?
Why, the big ones, of course. Da.
Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up.
The totals.
Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in tips. Di lo tuyo, aprende matemáticas. Yay! And the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points.
Oh, yes, if my calculations are correct. Let's see. 3 plus 1, carry the 5.
They are, Your Honor. Now, look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up, how much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. No, pero es que empezaron jugando con 7000 en total. Empezando jugando con 7000. Entonces, si piensas que las grandes son las de 1000, no estás haciendo la cuenta bien. Entonces las de 1000 tienen que ser las rojas, ¿vale? Si las de 1000 son las rojas, el que tiene más puntos es el de la izquierda, la persona de la izquierda. Que es el que estamos defendiendo. Mira, si es que soy un puto genio.
But why? How could it be?
Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. The starting points were wrong, the chip count was wrong, both were right. Chip count was wrong. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can be only one answer.
Well, what is it?
The value of the chips was the other way around.
What?
Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones.
Madness! Utter madness!
Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why? That does make 7,000 points when you add them up.
Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it.
But wait! The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing.
Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Oh!
Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points, and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table.
The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points and the defendant 4,100 points.
Well now, it seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all.
That's impossible!
My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning.
Yeah.
Kill viejo, cállese señor. Now, Miss Orley, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime. Weren't you? Mistia. Es Mistia.
Order! Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive. And Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. Oh, we must now ask ourselves whether we can...
Hold it!
Excuse me, what is it, Miss Orley?
I did not want to be saying this, but... Actually, you see, See what, Miss Orley? What do we see? In the left hand, there was cheat.
No.
A cheat? You didn't mean... A trick? A ghost trick, perhaps?
Gosuto Toriku.
Wait, or do you mean... a scam?
They're all the same thing.
Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with cheats as they are.
Great. Kure todase. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting.
Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand.
Yo lo veo. Witness testimony. The final hand.
The last hand, both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king.
4 of each card from ace to king. Sota, caballo, rey y as. Okay.
If you look at both men's hands, it is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand for Mr. Smith.
Todo está conectado. Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? Nada que ver, pero me encanta cómo está dibujado el frame de Apolo sudando, sí, sí. I thought I smelled a cover up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers.
A full house is a very high scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics.
Mr. Gavin? What is a full house?
Lawyers these days. You don't know your poker?
I can't say this bodes well for your case or career.
What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That is a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it?
You can see each player's hands in this photo.
Wow, they both have full houses. Right, so 2 aces, 3 kings, and 3 sevens, alright.
We forget, there's an easy way to make a full house. And go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat.
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional conman losing when they cheat? A ver.
Hold it!
Just, how hard is it to make a full house anyway?
It is quite hard, da. It is making a pair and a 3 of a kind at the same time.
I guess that's right. Hey, Mizu, ¿qué tal? Yo nunca supe jugar, así que confío en ti, Zar, que yo tampoco sé jugar al póker. Es más, yo he jugado... Víctor está por chat, pero yo juego a póker con él y sigo sin saber jugar.
Very difficult, to be sure. You can take my word as the poker of head of corner number 3.
Yo sí le sé. Madre mía, Mark.
Very difficult, da. That is not, it's not impossible.
Okay, full house, hard. This line of questioning, a waste of time. 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king.
Hold it!
Justo estaba a punto de decir que todo este caso me está dando ganas de jugar. Bueno, es que, madre mía, es que una vez empiezas no paras, ¿eh? Es divertido, es muy divertido, sí, sí. Está yendo muy más rápido de lo que esperaba. El grid de Saturn es mucho más calmado en comparación con este comienzo. 4 of each card, you say?
Da. There is 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 glove for each card. It is interesting fact that this number 4 comes from number of seasons.
Huh, you don't say.
And did you know that the cards are number 1 to 13? Add all the cards in a deck and you get 364. A year.
Huh, you don't say. Isn't that 1 day short?
That is why each deck has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus, you have a perfect representation of the year, all in a deck of cards.
Interesting. Huh, you don't say. The thinking pose for Apollo is so funny. It's like, I go, We're going to be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going like this. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious, yeah.
Hold it!
how was it clear?
Well, the defendant. He played a fifth ace.
A fifth ace?
I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand.
A foot. Estoy pensando en Sons ahora mismo. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony. Without Mr. Payne's joke.
Very well, the witness will add this detail to her testimony, please.
Three kings and 2 aces.
Objection!
What an amazing joke to come back to. Jesus Christ, that sucked ass. Estaba pensando, I was thinking, doesn't Gavin look a lot like Mr. Sons? Gavin se parece mucho a Sons, ¿verdad? ¿O soy yo el único que lo ve? ¿No se parecen un poco los modelos? It appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? About my name?
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony.
That's...
Who is Gavin and who is Sean? Gavin es Christoph. Y Sean. Sholms, S-H-O-L-M-S, es un personaje del Greatest Attorney.
That's the photo of the chips, is it not?
Justice, este es Gavin. Sholms, se parecen un poco. You are high as fuck, Zark. Me están funando en el chat. I'm getting attacked by my own chat. Incredible. Espérame que busco al otro. Justice. Perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point.
Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony?
Ooh.
Take that!
Miss Orly, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Zark, ¿qué te metes? La verdad es que estás un poco fumado. Te parecen un poco. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Indeed, share it.
Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Objection!
Take another look at the evidence. ¿Es porque son rubios? No, no solo porque sean rubios, se parecen. De verdad, creedme. Bill, trust me, please. Confía en mí. Trust in what I'm saying. Ah, me están atacando en mi propio chat. Es que es increíble. I'm getting attacked in my own chat for saying the truth. You can see the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where is this 5th ace? I see cheating, alright. And it's going on right here in this courtroom. Nos me dice que yo...
2 aces in each player's hand. That's make 4 aces in total. Only proof of cheating.
Wait, please. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. This is brainworm victim behavior. This is... Okay, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not digging this hole deeper for you guys. When you see your blurbo everywhere... Look, I miss Sholmes, alright, chat, le echo mucho de menos. Le echo mucho menos a Sholmes. I miss him so much. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin? Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion.
What might that be, Mr. Gavin?
If you don't mind. Perhaps we might examine the actual cards.
The cards?
Mr. Payne,
Ah, yes.
the players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Trinity y Sean's Plashy. No sé, yo tengo mucho cuidado a Sean. Es que tú aún estás jugando, Mark. No te preocupes. Ya nos reiremos.
Very well. The prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards?
If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? Considering the fact that in here, there the three cards of the defendant are turned over, and in this picture, then like more cards are thrown into the floor, and in this one they are all revealed. I think it's fair to say that we examine the defendant's hand. No confío en nadie. Estoy pensando que quizás tenemos que revisar las cartas de la víctima. Porque aquí las tiene mostradas, pero aquí no. ¿Sabéis? Let's go with the victim's hand. I'm going to save just in case, but... Va rapidísimo el juego, va súper fluido. View victim's hand. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards.
Very well, Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well.
Received evidence. Victim's hand.
Well, time is wasting. Get to it, Justice.
Yes, sir.
When examining evidence, be sure to read from all sides and angles. Try using to turn it every which way, and Y and X to zoom in and out.
Christoph? Are you okay?
That should give you a better perspective on the case.
Okay, let's do this. Aha. Oh, what? Your Honor, look at this. The victim's cards. The back is a different color.
Eh? Eh? That is impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Look!
What was that, Miss Orley?
No, yet. I merely said, that I have peek.
Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes. Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend. A comrade, shall we say.
Dun, 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 dun. Baba clip.
The dealer.
Oh! Wait, so you mean... Is witness Miss Orley?
She is the cheater. A professional, I would wager.
Yeah.
Okay, mister. Tavarish.
Order! Order!
Focus, Justice. And to take... Oh, yeah. Apollo, no. Apollo, no. Time to take advantage of her mistake. Apollo, what the fuck? I'm going to drink. Holy shit. Your Honor, 2007, humor de 2007, increíble. Your Honor. Please recall the testimony we just heard. Apollo basado. No, nameless, no.
That is impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand.
Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Oh. Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim.
What?
Wait, you don't mean... The defense isn't accusing the witness? Miss Olga Orley, are you?
Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means... I am the guilty one. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. Oh no. Perfecto. That's literally Misty a Lorelai. Literally as when we play Mr. Sisakaya.
Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga Orley?
It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor.
Ah, Mr. Justice.
Your Honor.
It seems you have presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith.
And that means?
This court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at the time.
What? I did it. I held out.
I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
Objection!
Mr. Wright? Who is Misty Zark? Mistia del juego que estamos jugando de las tojas en directo.
You can't end the trial here, Your Honor.
Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing right now?
Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means?
What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raise an objection right when you're about to get off the hook? Ridiculous.
Mr. Payne, you of all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the fact about the game that fateful night. As was said before, we alternated between two decks of cards that night.
That was said before.
The two decks at the club have different color backs, blue and red. One color per deck.
Why use different colored backs?
If we use the same color, the two decks might get mixed.
You use different colors and they still got mixed up.
We used the red deck for the last game. I see. But that's odd. Some reason. I have this impression that you were using the blue cards.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about the blue cards. Whatever. In the end, one card of the wrong color got into the mix. Which means there was cheating.
Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises two serious questions. Apollo?
Yes?
Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped?
When?
There are three broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder.
Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped.
Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be.
Eh.
I would like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck?
I think it happened after the murder. See, the cards are bolted, they are upside down, they are upside right. Están boca abajo, están boca arriba. I'm going to say just in case. Perhaps it happened after the murder? What is that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? Ah, that's silly.
Objection!
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I will take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Oh? Even when the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you would be caught in no time.
Oh, quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder.
Okay, this is going past silly and straight onto crazy. La tele cuando hablamos de Ruby. This is going past crazy and straight onto crazy. I ask again,
the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that?
Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us.
There's another.
Yes, it's simple, the decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Orly. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for a blue? I don't think it was Phoenix. Olga claims and keeps claiming that she gave it to Phoenix. So it must have been someone else? The one who swapped the card was Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orly either.
What are you suggesting?
That's hardly a logical conclusion, I will admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orly at this point. Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card.
And if the card was swapped during the game, it would be obvious.
Smack Phoenix. Oof. Durillo.
Something you would like to share with the court, Mr. Wright?
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all this is.
Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, then it wasn't Miss Orly. Then who was it?
Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Qué cute. Sí, ese mote lo ha hecho Nameless en chat. Que le quedó increíble, es muy bonito. A mí me gusta mucho. Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction.
A new direction?
We'll find that, indeed, after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know the two colors of the cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. La cara de puto que tiene Phoenix cuando sabe que todo está bajo su control. Algunas cosas nunca cambian. No, es que es increíble.
But there is one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist.
True. Not until now. But you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime.
What?
I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright.
This trial has proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room.
I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption.
The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court.
I suppose that is a problem, yes.
Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I will see you in my chambers during this recess.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Very well, the trial will resume in 20 minutes.
Oh, no le ha dado el mazo. He didn't hit the gable. April 20, 11:52 AM. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To
You suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I would think you would know the answer to that. Que puto. Oh, being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I would only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Crystal. Justice.
Yes, sir?
The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me.
You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
That locket you wear. Is that really yours, Mr. Wright?
Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket?
Here, you can take a look at it. It's a picture of my daughter in there. Ay, muchas gracias, perdona, es que no me gusta hacer spam, pero tengo el mismo nombre en todos lados. Sí, sí, no, nameless. Si quieres hacer spam por chat, hazlo. O sea, a mí me da igual, tú haces spam. Eres artista del canal, tienes derecho a hacer spam. Izar, que la de memes que te estoy haciendo. Ay, Dios. Tengo mi... I'm scared. Oh, that's adorable. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Luego me da el Discord, vale. La niña.
Oh, a little girl. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days.
One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you?
What do you think?
Huh?
You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat.
I never. Honest, but... Que no se confirma ningún ship. Este señor es muy bisexual, pero este señor va por Edgeworth. Por amor de Dios, Víctor, Seamos honestos, seamos sinceros aquí.
It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker.
Eh?
You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case.
Poker is like trial law?
Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win.
Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds.
I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information.
You are kidding.
That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice?
No. Come on, who would notice that?
Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. That is the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you.
But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals.
No, you can do it.
Huh?
You just don't know it yet.
What is he talking about?
But you will. Almost forgot. One more thing. About this case. You should know I haven't told the truth to anyone yet.
What? I knew it.
I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power.
My, power? I had no idea my Courts of Steel were that special.
It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best.
Mizu, no nos pongamos agresivos en chat. Por amor de Dios.
To be continued.
April 20, 12:14 p.m. District Court. Courtroom number 2.
court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga, already recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she has regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again.
That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne.
Probably fatigue is insufficient ground for refusing to testify. Or prosecute. Ooh. Madre mía, Christoph. My goodness, Christoph. What are you playing at? The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand.
Very well, the witness will take the stand.
Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you would rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser.
Not.
Oh!
Name's Olga Orley. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer.
Oh dear. Señora? Señora. Ah, señora.
People call me Olga Quick Fingers only.
Oh, really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian. And my last name sounds like O'Reilly.
Orly. Oh, really?
There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied.
Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night.
Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrication will have serious consequences.
Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. And I was planted at the Ports Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress.
So you were in cahoots with the victim.
Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend. The unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant the card in Wright's pocket beforehand. And then deal 5 aces during one of their games.
On their hands? Ooh, that's, ooh.
When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card in the trap with a snapshot.
No bueno. Use of the cards.
Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Indeed. Letting God red-handed at cheating would cast no doubt on all his prior wins.
Oh, I cannot speak. Ah, no sé hablar.
It's a...
A 7-year legend, destroyed by one little card. That was the plan.
Interesting. Oh, really, Orly? Or really? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake.
A mistake?
I agree. The trap was elegant. Yet what happened to that planted card?
Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. He would have to be to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quick Fingers Orly.
Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick.
Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me?
Because I'm bad. ¿Cómo estamos con el chistecito de oh, really? Sí. O sea, lo están exprimiendo a tope. But also, señora.
When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
Oh, really?
Todo el rato. The best laid traps.
That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up the bottle and sung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no good cheating defendant.
Yo solo conozco una señora y se llama Esmeralda Taspels. Es que Esmeralda también es muy señora.
A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark.
The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect. If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up.
Look who's talking.
Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, it's all yours, Mr. Justice.
With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? I'm going to drink some water. Aye. Agüita. And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Cross-examination. A ver. This planted card. Which card was it exactly?
The trump card. The 5 of hearts.
Let me guess, Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend.
I slid it into Wright's pocket.
When was this?
Why, before the match, of course. While he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers.
Remind me never to go there.
Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must...
Oh my voice.
Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken.
Alright. Alright, lost the hand, okay. So, everything went according to plan.
Exactly. The 5th ace came up, though it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud.
There are worse things to be known as, I suppose.
Tell us what happened with the search. The card was gone. Right, we don't have the other ones. Acabo de volver de hacer memes y madre mía que lesbiana pirata tenemos aquí, por Dios. Es la testigo de antes. Sí, sí. The card disappeared?
Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone without a trace. Poof, Stipo. We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hut.
But the card was nowhere to be found. Is this correct? ¿Cómo? ¿La Mistia rusa? Sí, sí. No es rusa siquiera, estaba fingiendo.
Never in my long storied career. Never has quick fingers Orly been so readily duped.
Oh, really? So, what did happen to that 5 of hearts?
Qué fuerte, sí, sí. Then, giving a little reach around, yeah.
Ah, don't look at me. I'll wait until you ask the cheating lying two-faced defendant.
So, the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. The next moment, Wright picked up the bottle and swung at it. Ah, she's touching her neck, you see? Wait, isn't that a little odd?
What is odd?
You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim.
Well...
What was that just now? I sensed something. My spider sense is tingling. Mi sentido arácnido está ahora mismo.
Something wrong, Mr. Justice.
No, nothing, Your Honor. Gozuto! Toriku! Yeah, that too. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Miss Orly! You are hiding something.
What are you talking about? You? Me? Quick fingers only? Hiding something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations.
I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it.
What is this weird vibe I'm getting? No, Apollo, es un aneurisma, te vas a morir. Quick fingers, yeah, because she is a poker dealer, empirical. Un momento, voy a cerrar la persiana, ahora vuelvo. I'm going to close my blinds, I will be right back. And I'm back. That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? Whoa! What is going on? Wait, is that a new game from the OG series like a prequel? Also, hi, también hola. Te cuento, Garrick, bienvenido. No, it's because she's a lesbian. Oh, I know she is, the name just makes me laugh. Te cuento, Garlic. Este es... O sea, han sacado... O sea, está la trilogía original y luego está la segunda trilogía de juegos. Y esto es la segunda trilogía de juegos, que la han sacado en HD ahora mismo para Steam y otras consolas. Esto no es una precuela, esto es una secuela a la primera trilogía original. What is she doing? Ya, hemos descubierto la lesbiana piratilla esta y hemos activado el instinto arácnido de Apolo. Damn, Apollo, she has dandruff. Don't shame the poor woman. She's touching her hair? Her neck, actually. This sensation. It's coming into focus. There. That twitch. It's so clear. If you're talking about me, I'll be honest, I don't understand Spanish. Sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you, because you said hola, I thought you were Spanish. Basically, there's like the original trilogy, and this is the sequel trilogy, which just came out. Apolo está sanísimo, sí, sí. So this is the fourth game in the whole series, basically. It's like I could perceive the herd habit like I couldn't before. Perceive.
Gotcha!
Miss Orley, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself.
Unaware of what?
Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
My neck? So what?
What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it.
A memory?
Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? Yeah, I don't get it either. No, I do get it, but it's like very unusual, yeah.
This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense.
Right.
You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us.
Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So, what would remind her of most of the moment of the crime? The weapon? Miss Orley, I know you recall the crime that night. You scratched your neck. I've noticed it happen when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this. Volví, A-Night. Yo, ¿qué tal? Alright, I think it's the deadly bottle. I'm going to presume... Oh, I cannot save. Okay, I'm going to assume that it's the bottle then.
Take that!
Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle? The murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. Te comento, Knight, Apolo ha desbloqueado su instinto arácnido. Pero literalmente. Apollo just unlocked his spider sense, basically. If you were only the witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
What is he talking about now?
It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you.
Ah,
Spoderman. Yes.
this is a cross-examination.
Not a cross-wild conjecture.
The witnesses' habits? They're completely irrelevant.
Justice, I will admit that I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination.
Está todo el caso montando de diapositivas. Ay, ay. I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now is our only chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify, in detail, on the moment of the crime. The very moment.
Niet. I am knowing nothing.
We know you're not Russian.
The witness will testify, please. Now.
Bah, fine.
There she is. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there.
Hold it!
You seem uneasy.
You try standing up here.
Her eyes are darting all over the place. I must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like?
Well, he must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. He sat in a daze at that table until the cops came.
Intriguing. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So, what do you think about her testimony?
I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed. It's basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence.
What is that?
Well, what's this evidence, Mr. Justice? This evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony.
She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. Used by the defendants to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor.
Take that!
Miss Orley, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant.
Eh?
And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Board's Bowl Club.
Look!
So, explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Oh no, not the shrimp.
The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant.
Go down time. You dirty cheat!
Check his pockets now!
I'm guessing that's... it's gone. The card is gone. You lose. Oof.
Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right. And he hit me.
You! Some master of cheating you turned out to be. Oh dear.
When I came to,
The victim was already dead. Is that it?
that's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I would be a suspect for sure.
Well, where does this leave us?
Madness! This is madness, I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle and I'm imagining all of this.
It appears our prosecution is at its wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events?
Mr. Gavin? Sir?
I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Orley a big fat lie.
What?
3 were in that room at the night of the murder. The defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive.
A motive?
Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of that argument was murder.
What? I didn't. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone is trying to frame me.
What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive.
Wow, that's certainly a phrase.
So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? That's a hasty conclusion.
It's not like you, Christoph Gavin.
What do you say? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder.
Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess.
A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person.
Ha! This theory again. Your 4th person doesn't exist.
Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal.
The real criminal?
And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about?
Sorry.
Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error.
He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards.
Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue.
Yeah, I had that impression too. But why?
Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was?
It's not me, I swear.
Who is this 4th person?
Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Apollo, this is your first day. You have never been put on the spot like this before.
Bueno, chat,
Are you ready?
let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought that the cards used in the final game were blue?
Take that!
As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair.
I was right?
Christoph Gavin, you were the 4th person that night.
But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards.
How could he? How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table.
¿Qué significa esto? It was me. It was Empirical Woodland. Get him! Oh, his name is in blue. Empirical, do you have anything to say for yourself? But look! As you can see, the colors in this photo.
Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that. A game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor.
I told you it was me.
A competition.
Yes, a test of wits. A silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in a blue flame, know its final outcome.
I need to say nothing else.
Well, Christoph.
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right, you aren't seriously accusing me, are you?
Oh, Christoph? You know, even I would never take a joke this far. What a twist!
This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder.
I assure you, I'm quite sane. Yo cuando empiezo a hablar de las rubas o desinfobia. Yeah, shit, he's accusing you.
But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either.
Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met.
Well, what if they have? Mejor no defender a Phoenix.
Huh?
There is a possibility after all. They may have met that night, before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court.
The defense would like to request no such thing.
Mr. Gavin?
Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before that game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss Orley... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you.
Ah, pillo. There it is. You are not the defense attorney here, Gavin. You're not in control here.
Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Oh, okay.
Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony?
Cagaste. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was playing this all along. And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. The true justice?
You would betray me, your teacher.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Very well, the defendant. Mr. Wright will take the stand, please.
Appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin.
Mr. Gavin, you were at the Board's Bowl Club the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked with the defendant on the phone? Directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him.
You were playing this all along, weren't you, right?
Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now.
I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Tan.
Justice.
Sir!
He's lying, and you're going to expose him.
Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Me, every single Ace Attorney trial, ever. Why can't I have a normal trial? Cross-examination. Appetite before murder.
Hold it!
You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yes, he dines with me at the Board's Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot. As usual. Usual. I always sit at the table close to the piano.
I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting.
So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner?
Indeed. The remnants of my meal with Christoph. Remnant. La que te espera, Polo. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left. After that, Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left.
Hold it!
5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Oh, Mr. Wright. What was it you said? Christoph, Gavin, and Shady Smith may have met.
I believe I did say that.
Here I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall?
That does seem a little weak as a pretext for murder.
Oh, it would be, if that were all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? When the trap failed, Smith hit the waiter.
Hold it!
About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Morley mentioned.
The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand. And then deal 5 aces during one of their games.
Yeah.
When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out a planted card and the trap would snap shut.
You swap the cards.
Just like that. The legend would be dashed to pieces.
Game, we've seen this like 5 minutes ago, alright? Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover.
A quirk?
I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. I mean, yeah, you are kind of always putting your hands in your pockets. You're a bit like Sans from Undertale. You have like the same pose and the same energy right now. You know, with like the hoodie, the hands in the pockets. Un poco Sans Undertale. The cards she planted. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. Oh my god, es verdad, lo amo. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card. Before the game.
Dispose? Where?
There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice.
The murder weapon? Wait, sorry, not grape juice, mosto. Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. No. No, there is nothing here. Right? Right, please. Phoenix, tú te reirás, pero yo he hecho 10 memes, 9 de 10 de Alicia Dorney.
A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama.
A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look.
Mr. Wright, alright, yeah. The poker head of cordon number 3 approves this battle of wits.
I love the judge so much. The bottle is completely empty. The bottle is completely empty. There is like nothing else really. Mosto. How long has it been since I drank Mosto? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder if I am.
Please write your testimony with this new information.
I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, if I may? Yes? I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. No?
What, Mr. Wright? Surely ... isn't all you have to say for yourself.
I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh?
Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and the 6th person could have helped.
Christoph. No eres slick, eh? You're not being slick, Christoph.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Christoph, the sassiness. Déjenlo, es bobito mi niño. Christoph está calentísimo. Christoph is so mad right now. Or did the card just disappear? Like a magic trick. Fun fact, the Ace Attorney creator was also a magician before becoming a game developer. El creador de Ace Attorney hacía trucos de magia también en shows, antes de volverse escritor de videojuegos, básicamente. Así que le gusta mucho meter magos en sus historias.
In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Wreck him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Ugh. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? That explains things. That evening, Christopher and I had dinner. We sat at the table at the firm. Alright. Could be the Five of Hearts. Yeah. I'm going to keep pressing and see what happens. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? No, exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Was anyone else on the first floor at that time? ¿Cómo se llama la pirata lesbiana? Se llamaba Olga Orly, con Y al final. Olga O-L-G-A. Ay, Olga Orly, gracias la Yeya. Not a soul. It was in the middle of the night after all. There is snow on the piano. Hay nieve en el piano. No lo utilizas, hijo mío. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the intro waiters alone. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead.
Hold it!
Porque nieve en el piano, ¿qué es eso? Hay nieve en todos los restaurantes, sí, sí. And when you returned, the victim was already dead, yes. Yeah, why is there snow on the piano? How is that happen? How does that happen? The roof is broken, probably. I will admit, I was a little startled when I walked in.
Hey, little.
He was bleeding from his forehead after all. I guess I would be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. Sí, para el ambiente quizás, nieve falsa. It must be fake snow for the ambience of the restaurant. I made another phone call to the defensive attorney.
Could you explain?
Le he puesto la voz del juez sin querer. I'm so I gave Apollo the judge voice. Increíble, amazing. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin? I had obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair, and I figured Christoph's law officers would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Well, glad to hear you intend to pay. Hydrate, thank you, Nate. Justo me estaba echando agua. Oh, I'll pay in full, Christoph. It was I who got you involved, after all. You may find the price of your offense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Is this time the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him, now. Yes, sir. I have to think. What is Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere. That evening, Christopher and I had dinner. We sat at the table in the photograph. Katie Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card in the bottle. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. Yeah, there is no cut. A menos que consideres es un corte. Maybe you can consider that a cut? It certainly is blood streaming from it. It's certainly blood, but I don't think I wouldn't call it a cut per se. Oh wait, how could you see it if he had a hat on? How did you know that?
Objection!
Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point.
Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Eh?
You?
You put the hat on the dead man's head.
I can't speak.
You put the hat on the dead man's head.
He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like this photograph.
And
I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head.
Why did you do why did you do a thing like that?
Good point, me cago en la puta. Lo tiene todo pensadísimo el cabrón. En su cabeza es espectacular. In his head, he has everything planned out. And all I can say is, I'm sorry. Understandable. Have a great day. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So, Miss Orly didn't see? Torimasen, sorry. It being the victim's his head. I would think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head.
oh, here we go again.
Mr. Gavin?
Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case.
Es que Phoenix. Whoopsie. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he?
I believe that's enough of that.
Mr. Gavin?
This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew.
I believe it was you who threw the first stone.
Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well.
Hey, reason?
That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night. Recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case I recorded our conversation.
What is this?
Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court.
Christoph,
I seem to be in a bit of trouble.
what is this? Game not going well?
Something like that.
That gentleman who challenged you. He turned out to be good?
He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him hard.
You mean someone cracked that flawless bone Sheena pate? It wasn't you, was it?
Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. In your hands. Should it come to that. Bone Sheena plate? Sheena plate? Bone Sheena plate? Bone China plate? Okay, bone China plate. Okay, I was confused on the pronunciation there. A kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. And not plate but pate. Plate? Pate? Macarrón. Macarrón con tomático.
I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. Yes, I have been called that in the past before. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead.
I did. The judge. Oh, thank you for not calling attention to my forehead. Me. You. ¿Qué ha pasado? ¿Blue Parrot? ¿Qué? ¿Eso es un link? Porque si es un link, quizás te lo ha... Un segundo, give me like a moment. Tal que es poseado. Christoph Boltas. ¿Qué te ha hecho el Twitch ahí? What Twitch did... What? Ah, lo he hecho queriendo. Vale. Alright, es que a veces Twitch hace eso cuando censura ciertas palabras o links. Entonces me había rayado. No, Zark. Yes, Zark. Alright. Zark es poseado. I am getting cancelled on Twitter. Le ha hecho un slur a Cristo. Alright. Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. Wait. ¿Le has hecho un slur a qué? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Alright. So, after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this bone China plate? What?
Oh, that's right.
Perdón, le echo un cariño. Si me cancelas, lo acepto. Es que la cosa es que Twitch no me dice por qué te lo ha hecho. Es que no me sale ningún aviso de, esta palabra ha sido tachada por motivos. Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Vale, has sido tú, ok. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it? Phoenix, right?
Order! I will have order. Mr. Payne,
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear defense attorney Gavin's testimony?
Eh? Well, as the prosecutor, I...
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well. This will be the final recess for the day.
Wow, this case is still going on. My goodness. April 20, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. It's not as long as the first case of The Greatest Attorney Chronicles, but still, it's quite long. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber. Would have thought today would turn out like this. May I?
What?
There she is! Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please, pick a card.
What is all this about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You will need a trump card
To make it... turnabout Trump. Turnabout Trump card. A Trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That is all.
An ace. Where do I remember that card from? Apollo, my fucking goodness.
Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
The missing 5th ace. Wait. It's blood of red. Is this blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I had seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Bloody ace added to the court record. Ooh. April 20, 2:45 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Gavin is not here. A single drop of blood marks the front of the card. Nothing else? Alright. Received from a mysterious girl. Could this be the missing 5th ace? Pinche tu madre, Apolo, la memoria la llevas complicada. Did Phoenix make her learn the entire discourse? Maybe. We know Phoenix and how dramatic he gets, so he probably taught her that to be just as dramatic as himself, you know?
Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. Will the witness state his name and occupation?
Is this part necessary, Your Honor?
Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Oh god, I still remember the parrot. Aún recuerdo el puto loro.
Fine, I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear.
A nice touch to see his badge, yeah.
How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat?
By secret, I'm guessing that he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald. Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Objection? 2001? Mr. Wright? What do you think you're doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit.
Oh!
When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. What is my man Blood doing? What is he on about? In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime. In other words, I must be the real killer. Is what you're trying to say. Ooh, that grin. Oh my goodness, that is not subtle, Ace Attorney. Not bad, Apollo.
Mr. Gavin?
I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
Oh, what?
Oh, I assured you, I had the noblest of intentions. Payne is just like, what the fuck is going on? I have no idea what's going on either. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation I see little reason to hide anything. Very well, allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Acabo de creer que tenía ojos grises. No.
Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night?
Silver eyes. Oh no. That fateful night. The rage and sense in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. Míralo qué guapo. Sí, es guapo, pero también es un poco criminalesco.
So, you witnessed the murder?
For better or worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous for your client.
Shh, that's okay. No creo que se lo afecte a inglés, no. What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand, after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo? Oh.
Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared?
Yes, Your Honor. Can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Ooh, there's a little... Hay una cortina, there's like a little... How do you say this in English, this word? A blind? There's like something to cover up the window if need be. Curtain, ya, gracias. A veces no toma la cabeza en lo que yo tengo que tener. Curtain, ay. Phoenix has just stolen this man's apprentice and everyone is fine with it. Look, he has adopted Apollo, okay? Yeah, a blind or curtain, yeah. He has adopted Apollo, you know? That's perfectly fine. We all adopt people that we find. Like, literally like, now you are my child. A little window. You mean the one used to keep watch up the stairs?
Yes, a relic of the ancient past. The Black Marketeers used it, I believe.
Why did you go through the trouble of peeking in through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room?
I didn't want to upset Wright, you see.
Upset Mr. Wright?
Yes, what if my fears had been unfounded? I would be walking in under match, but firm to say the least.
So far everything he's saying makes sense. Right after the murder took place. How do you know it was right after the murder?
Really, no need to shout at Justice.
Ugh.
I was just getting to that part in my testimony.
Ah, there he is. The coolest defense in the West, we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on the witness stand, some things never change.
I was afraid you had changed too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours.
How do you think the headlines tomorrow would look? Digamos que no es la primera vez que Phoenix adopta. No, ni será la última. It won't be the first nor the last time that Phoenix Wright adopts a child. With friends like this, who needs enemies? By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene?
Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead.
And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat. Can you describe the scene of the crime for us? My man does not pack. He will never bear children, he just grabs them. Joink. Those were the only three at the scene of the crime? Never let Phoenix Wright anywhere near an orphanage. That the same goes for me as well. Do not let me near an orphanage.
Yes, as far as I saw, at least.
Then we're back to where we started. The killer was the defendant, Miss Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police?
Two reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Oh, I see. There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Justice, I just said I saw no one. Not a soul.
But that goes against what Mr. Wright said.
Ah, yes, this mysterious fourth person. Would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose.
Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. That doesn't put you Stark in a good place, I know. We'll form an entire buffet with those kids. By the time you get them back, they will already know criminal law. Exactly. They will all work for him.
Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary.
How can I show something that I can't find myself? Apollo, you were just given the fucking ace right now. Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the 5th ace. The 5th ace. Right.
Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer would swap out the card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out.
Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Did the killer take the 5th ace?
Take that!
My reason is, this.
Is that an ace?
Controller? Controller, please. El mando ha muerto. The controller just died on me. Give me like a moment. Puedo ver una foto de Clavier en ropa de calle y no estoy bien. Ah,
Why? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade.
what?
This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
Could this be the missing 5th ace? Inconceivable!
How could you? What have you done with that card? Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl. Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Board's Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. Está perdiendo la cordura. Sí, bueno. Sí, pásalo por mi servidor, que está la ya también dentro. Nameless, pasa la foto por el Discord y ya está. El uno flip card más guarro, sí. I give it to my daughter. Cards are her stock and trade after all. Reverse uno card, literally.
Objection!
No! Impossible! Unacceptable! There we go. Ahí está. I don't promote it usually, no lo suelo promocionar, pero ahí está. Solamente lo utilizo para avisar y poco más.
The court can accept this evidence. It's a fraud.
A fraud? How can you be so sure?
Oh, what?
I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason?
The reason for
For the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime.
Where are you going with this?
Take another look at the photo and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor. Luego miramos lo de los memes, no te preocupes. And a circle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards?
Christoph, it's a fraud. You can't accept evidence from the defendant, that's fucking insane.
Phoenix. Ah, but you see. I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Objection!
Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible.
Oh?
Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence.
Oh, we can discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question.
What are you talking about?
You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now I've told you that one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see.
Objection!
Phoenix, you can't take it. You can't accept that evidence.
Me. This is baseless conjecture. Baseless.
Objection!
Oh, I assure you it's quite bad. algo. algo. Oh, I assured you, it's quite based. This is not real. This is not happening right now. That's it. Judge, can't go to jail. He's too funny. Oh my god. Se bugueó el micro. Oh god, I'm sorry. Lo siento. I need to drink. I need to drink some water. Oh, I assured you, it's quite based. Phoenix, no! Phoenix, yes! Ooh, what? It's amazing, really. Well, a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us. The truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Yes? Try picturing the scene of the crime. In your head. The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. Wow, 3D, yeah. And before the killer swapped the card out, oh Phoenix, you have to stop. You smoke too tough, your swag too different, your beat miles too bad. They'll kill you. There was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses. The second witness, whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? The victim, because his head was backwards, so that means that his head was right here and his legs were pointing in that direction. So it must have been the victim. Well, isn't it the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in his chair. You would think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Oh! Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards. Why, that's right! So, what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Try turning the chair... How? I just... Okay, click, okay. The chair was facing the other way. It would have to be. So, we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. That would mean the killer turned the chair back around. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts your new understanding of the crime? The victims? The killers? The witness? The second witness? Whose location creates a contradiction if the victim was facing away? The victim was struck from the front, correct? Indeed. Well, wouldn't it be hard for the killer to hit him from the front? Sitting where his indicator currently is? I would think it would be quite hard, yes.
Yes, but why you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall? In the middle of a game?
I believe a sufficient reason will soon come to light.
What?
There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Looking again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? So I'm marking it on the diagram.
What? But...
There's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find.
Pero ¿qué investigación hizo la policía si estamos haciendo nosotros todo el trabajo? Eso ocurre en todos los juegos, ¿eh? No te preocupes, Nameless. Eso en todos los juegos, la policía es inútil. Pero siempre ocurre, ¿eh? Siempre. The police is almost always useless in these kinds of games. Almost useless. O sea, sí, pero me hace gracia. Acostúmbrate, qué sorpresa.
We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else.
Poor Gamshu. Gamshu did one thing correctly, and he kept one piece of evidence in his coat. One time. One time doesn't excuse the whole police force, la yaya. Hacerlo con las cosas bien una vez no excusa al resto del cuerpo de policías que lo hagan mal siempre.
Where would the killer Where would the killer have to be standing? I couldn't read it. Well, it would have to be standing right here.
The killer had to be standing, well, here.
You get points for flair, but that's all about you get.
Ugh, I thought I was onto something there too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above?
But in this case, we don't know the detective. We are detective-less.
It's simple logic, really. If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that, the very moment of the crime...
Wait! I know! At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What is this now?
I mean, that's the only explanation. Right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout, immediately.
Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard.
Ah, Your Honor?
What?
There is one more thing your men should look for.
Y un amigo decía que los juicios de Danganronpa eran una fumada. No has visto nada, Knight. Esto es muy calmado comparado con lo que yo he visto en el Great Ace Attorney.
Please, give this to the bailiff.
Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright.
No has visto bien estos. I do my best. But let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here, the victim of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my! What is this?
Qué puto, qué pillo. What a scoundrel you are, Phoenix. What is it now?
Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we have found yet another contradiction.
La comparación de tomar testimonio a un loro y nos falta un animal más.
What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact.
Huh? Oh, dang!
Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion.
Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim? The killer? The witness? The second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we know about the crime?
Yep.
About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved?
Sure, why not?
Well, if it was,
something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Oh! That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone. Like Mr. Gavin. What? What did you say? Ooh, he's twitching. Or Judge is senile, he cannot figure it out. Yeah, the judge in The Greatest Attorney was way smarter. El juez del Greatest Attorney era como mucho más avispado. Got him. Oh? Is it the coolest defense in the West, losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you would like to explain to the court. Exactly where did you witness the crime scene from?
Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is the court of law, and I will have order. We just now received word from the investigative team at the Burst Bull Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh, and what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What?
Oh dear, secret passage. The West, sure, I believe that. This is definitely happening in California. Yep, eat your hamburgers, Apollo. Ah, yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks of the room many of our regulars know about. One of our ghost tricks, if you will. I do remember him saying something about that, now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin, come on, say something.
Did I ask what really happened that night?
Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in a secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. What? Why did you do that? Wait here, I'll get help. I'm guessing that's Phoenix. Miss Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then, our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look and... After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red.
Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Payne,
Yeah? Yes, Your Honor.
the prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion.
Ah,
Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest. Immediately.
If Christopher is the murderer, then could this be considered a gay crime? Batum. Payne estuvo de decoración medio caso, sí, sí, literal.
Objection!
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand.
Your point, Mr. Gavin?
Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly a time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence!
Objection!
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing?
Of course. This bottle, for instance.
The bottle of Mosto Mr. Wright was drinking.
How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne?
He has forgotten what illegal evidence is. He must be disbarred.
Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were, upside down.
Seem to recall this being an issue earlier.
The court, and this case, demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor?
See how the caught fish squirms to the last.
Well, Apollo?
Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to...
Don't let him trick you into explaining his explanation is the only legitimate one.
Is there really another?
Take a look at the court record. I believe you will find a simple answer there, in plain sight.
Yeah, because he grabbed the bottle from below, right? Like that he grabbed the bottle from the crate, and so because he wasn't being careful, he just picked it up like that. Yeah, that must be the reason. How about you just say the answer in plain words?
It would be hasty to deliver a verdict without unanswered questions, indeed. Well, Mr. Justice.
Sir Gavin said that the court in this case and demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't live until justice is done.
Perhaps just the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down?
It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor, next to your chair.
Excuse me, on the floor?
Yes. Now reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingers. Upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here. Playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times.
Oh, I can't believe it was that simple.
Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then too. Basically, you use the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon.
Order! 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 What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin?
Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection.
Oh,
What?
you claim that I switched the bottle? What is your proof?
Proof? Well, that's,
As I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty.
Objection!
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation?
Ah, yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottle from under the piano at the Boards Bowl Club.
Como será asesino vuelve a aparecer en todo el juego, lloro. La maldición de Nameless continúa. Es como Sater empezándose sin foguear por Kanade. Y es como... Bueno, ¿cómo te digo?
And here's one of the bottles in question. What? Are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that, but his.
The Gavin probably wouldn't make such an obvious mistake. True. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes. Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? Yep, the missing card, the 5 of hearts. But why? Just humor me. Mr. Wright. That bottle will solve this case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. There it is. There's something inside the bottle. What is this?
That card! It can't be!
Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga Orly? Yes, our little swindling Devotska.
That night I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed.
Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. That is all. La maldición de Nameless continúa.
Yes. Is your idea of revenge? Phoenix Wright. Revenge?
Revenge for the event that took away your attorney's butt 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Not unlike my feelings, which are very bisexual, mind you. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice. Pepe, pero o sea, bueno, que gracias por el follow, compañero. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo ha ido el directo? Insert a dramatic hair swipe. Zark, how is this physically possible? No preguntes. No lo sé. The only straight thing he has. Nothing about that man is straight, I know.
Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right?
This is insane. What about me?
Don't they get to prosecute anyone? Poor Pain. Poor man. Pero bueno, una raid encima, me cago en todo, un momento. Muchas gracias por la raid, Pepe, madre mía. Dame un momento, voy a hacer un shoutout, un momento. Let's get raided, ay. Let's fucking go. Ay, y el shoutout normal de Twitch. Por favor, id a seguir a The Doxys, id a seguir a Pepe, que es un compañero que hace directos también, es de la TL. Muy majete. O sea, entras en su directo y te lo pasas bien siempre. Es que nunca falla. Este señor, a ver. Ahí está. Hazle un follow, gente, que se lo merece. Habla en español lo que quieras, Pepe. O sea, yo traduzco, no te preocupes. Hostia, Zark, voice reveal, ahí estoy. Hola, King. ¿Qué tal? No solo voice reveal, es que encima pongo voces a los personajes aquí. Entonces mi voz cambia mucho.
I believe this time we have finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin.
Habéis venido justo al final del juicio, así que bastante bien.
He's admitted everything. We are processing his arrest right now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
None that we know of.
Ya se ha descubierto todo el pastel, sí.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add?
I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. King, gracias por el follow. I can't shed any more...
How about this victim, Mr. Shady Smith? His occupation was listed as traveler.
Es un viajero, como Outer Wilds.
An odd profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright,
Yes?
7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch.
Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. Hammer, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Eres actor de doblaje? No, simplemente me gusta hacer voces de mierda. Ya me gustaría a mí hacer voces buenas, de verdad. Hammer es Ite, sí. Es que empecé haciendo voces con el Great Attorney hace como año y medio. Y desde entonces tengo la manía de hacerlo. con muchos juegos. Muy vital eso, to be honest. Literalmente, sí.
He was extremely talented, to be sure.
I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no justice. Yeah, time passes way too quickly, Blue Parrot. You are right. El tiempo pasa muy rápido. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Polo.
Me?
This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own initial trial system. We have to set it right.
Mr. Wright.
Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty.
GG.
Court is adjourned.
Se acabó. We won, chat. Hemos ganado. Nameless llora. April 20, 4:28 p.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 3. Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would.
I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there.
It was you who cornered Mr. Gav, the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too, today, didn't you? Your ability.
Sí, o sea, no sé si... Es que para los que habéis llegado, Apolo tiene un sentido arácnido. Por algún motivo. No, a ver, Mizu, no ha sido porque... no ha sido... O sea, no ha sido para tanto. O sea, antes lo digo para que no escale a más. O sea, no ha sido nada malo. Antes lo he dicho porque prefería, por si acaso, dejar las cosas un poco claras antes de antemano. O sea, no te preocupes.
Sí, o sea, básicamente Apolo tiene un sentido arácnido, puede ver a la gente y notar sus cosas por algún motivo. Y ya está. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes. You are Spider-Man. A sensitivity I lack. You will come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... Y si juegas a juegos que matas cosas. Da igual, o sea, se puede seguir siendo... A ver, no lo digo que sea malo. Estoy diciendo que es para que el ambiente en chat no evolucione a algo en el futuro distinto de lo que yo quiero tener en el chat. Nada más. No era nada mal, no te preocupes. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true.
What is this weird vibe I'm getting? Es que yo es más por Twitch que otra cosa, no es por otra cosa, Mizu, no te rayes. What was that, Mr. Wright? You will have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer. Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you will learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. No, ya sé que a Twitch no le importo, pero Twitch banea muy fácilmente, que es otra cosa distinta. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Sí, se comen los streamers pequeños para dejarlos grandes. Pero mi intención de streameando no es llegar a ser un streamer grande. Mi intención es jugar a juegos y pasármelo bien con gente. Entonces me da exactamente igual. Lo único que quiero es que no me banee Twitch. Es mi único motivo ahora mismo. ¿Eh? I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury. Sí, no me van a banear, pero quiero tener un ambiente bueno en chat. Es básico, es... No sé, no creo que esté pidiendo mucho, vamos. You testified. You said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then, why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of job. I work for Gavin Law offices after all. Yeah, we just condemned our boss to jail, basically. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo. Yes? How about coming to work for me? Eh? You mean at the Right and Go Law offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait, but didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. How do you think the rest of your buffet will feel? You just left them jobless, Apollo. Yeah, exactly. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man. Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left the law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I'll bet this was the forged evidence.
Take that!
You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us.
The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud.
A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real.
But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney.
Who is calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it?
¡Ah!
Le hizo la Alfa 14.
I punch him.
It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling. Take that next time. I find it packs a little more punch. Que pillo. What a scoundrel you are, Phoenix Wright. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I would find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins. I had a good time. This man gets punched for being cocky once a week. End. Alright everyone, we've gone a bit overboard with today's stream, but we're going to end up here. Vamos a terminar el directo por hoy. Next time, we'll continue with episode 2, Turnabout Corner. So, thank you for being here. Gracias una vez más. Pepe, por esa raid. Y por los follows y por todo. Thank you for being here, everyone. Let me quickly... There we go. Aye. Let's see. Time to have dinner. Yummy dinner nice. Blue Parrot, you are the salt of the earth. Never change. Nunca cambies, Blue Parrot. Alright, let's see who we can raid today. Buah, no hay nadie ahora mismo en Twitch. F. Alright, we can't raid anyone, so I'll be seeing you guys next week for more Mr. Sisakaya. And once again, for some Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney Trilogy. I'm going to publish my schedule on my Twitter and on my Discord as always. And until next time, I will see you all very soon. Bye everyone. Bye, buenas noches. Adiós, adiós.